right, welcome everybody to It's a Smalls World Special Edition, Amazon Worker Edition, especially JFK, Staten Island. New York is in the building. I'm here with my lovely co-host, Blakely. How you doing, Blakely?
Good.
Good. And I'm here with my brothers, my comrades, Derek Palmer, lead organizer, founder of TCOW, also a member of Amazon Labor Union, another lead organizer, also a current Amazon worker at JFK8, Tristan Martinez. Welcome. So I want to start off with both of you guys. I'll start off with you, Tristan, since you just came back from as soon as you came back off the plane, you just jumped right into the fire. Tristan actually came out the other day with me and to the tent. We had our tent outside the building, and he didn't waste no time. He was getting signatures left and right. How did that go for you? How did you feel about that?
I felt really well, honestly. I at first I thought I was going to be more nervous talking to people, but once I started talking about it and people would look at me, I'm like, yeah, this is what we're trying to accomplish. This is what we're trying to do, and it just started going so easily, and people just started reacting and then signing, and it felt very good to be making such a big difference.
Word. And you did your thing, yeah, for real. I sat back. I kind of played the background because I told some of my boys, like, hey, look, we need to find strong organizers. We want workers to organize workers, especially current Amazon workers. Even though I no longer work there, I kind of want to be that support system, but at the same time, I want the current workers like yourself to be the ones that's on the front lines talking to these workers, because you guys can walk in the building with them. Me, I'm no longer inside that building, but from you, what I seen was all right, it works. It definitely works when a worker that is still employed is talking to a worker that doesn't know anything about the union or are misled by the information Amazon is putting out there. And that conversation that you have with them, it resonates more. It just resonates with them. And that's what I seen. And I think that it's going to work in our efforts. So that was great. And I just want to say thanks. Thanks for coming out and doing your thing, man. I'm looking forward to the next time. Before I move on to Derek, though, I do want to ask you. So, what have you noticed so far since you've been back? Any conversations, anything happen to you, any management or somebody pop up on you, or it's just been, the normal things that we've been hearing?
Well, as far as management, I'm getting offers for promotions from actual regional managers that's disguising themselves as actual workers. So they trying to get me to, get promoted to basically shut me up. They come to me and ask me about the boxes, ask me safety questions, and then out of nowhere, just ask me personal questions like, hey, how long you been with Amazon? And this, that, and the third. And I'm a regional manager, so I can get you promoted. And I'm just like, wait, where did this come from?
After 5 years.
After 5 years, all the bullshit I went through about, getting turned down for interviews and all that crazy shit. Then you pop up out of nowhere during a union drive and try to get me promoted all of a sudden.
Word.
And then I'm getting isolated. They're just sending me to, they're giving me the title jam clear, and they having me fucking fix boxes and push boxes down on a conveyor belt where the rollers are messed up.
They basically try to keep you away from other workers. Basically, they want to keep you out the loop. Don't stay on the line. Go do a job where you can roam around a little bit, but stay 6 feet apart.
Yeah. So they know that's my forte. I'm able to talk to people all day. Right. So that's another union busting tactic. So isolating me, giving me assignments that they're not giving to anyone else. So that's what that's the experience from the inside. The outside, man, we had a barbecue.
Word.
And it was successful. We got a lot of people who sign up for the union, also get a free plate of food. And the next day they put up a fence in the area where we set up our tent and our barbecue.
Word.
So yeah,
that was
a lot of bullshit.
Direct response to what we was doing, and it backfired because we got everybody today. We seen it. Everybody came up and was like, Look what you guys did, yo. Y'all do a barbecue and they put up this fence. So you guys are, keep fighting. Everybody's telling us to keep fighting, keep fighting. And I'm gonna jump to you, Connor. You just jumped in with us, Connor. Welcome back to JFK and welcome back to Amazon, the machine. On the outside,
Not that great to be back, but
yeah. I mean,
you know how
in
it
this aspect, the reason why you're back, yeah, well, little do they know. So how do you just talk about the experience you've been having outside on the tent and what happened in these last 2 days?
I'd say overall the experience has been really surprisingly good. In the beginning, we were kind of overwhelmed with the positive response we're getting from workers, and the past 2 days specifically, it seems like Amazon has really started to consider us more of a threat. But still, a lot of the way they respond to what we're doing, it's very inconsistent. It's kind of like they're scrambling. They're trying everything, even though it's ineffective, like calling the cops on us, calling the fire department. And these people come out and they just tell us, we're fine, we're not doing anything. Putting up the fence obviously was just kind of a desperate move on their part, because I think our cookout was so successful, and they saw that, and that fence went up the next day. I think that they just underestimated us at first, and they still keep underestimating us. And because of that, we're constantly a step ahead of them, because we keep having success with the workers, and they keep having to react to what we're doing. Right.
Agree. I agree 100%. So I'm gonna go back to you, Tristan. Like, you've been there pretty much since they opened that building, and same thing with Derek and I. Amazon promised us a lot of opportunities to move up. So what would you tell a new hire, like that just got hired, that thinks that Amazon's going to take care of you and promote you up and give you all these opportunities? What would you say to them?
I would say keep your expectations low. Amazon likes to promise things and then just, never really quite get there. They'll throw you a bone every now and then, but like, hey, do this. We're going to give you this new responsibility. But, you're going to make the same because we're not officially promoting you.
Right.
Just keep pretty much just jerking you around. And then, like, I tell people all the time, I'm like, the only people Amazon wants higher up in like operations and managers are one of two people. One, the workplace snitch that went to college and will just do whatever it takes to move up. Or two, some kid that's fresh out of college that just needs work experience and will do anything Amazon says, no matter what, just so they can leave in like a year or two after they, get some experience and go somewhere else.
Right.
There's no way they'll ever promote somebody from day one that has so much more experience than the person you're bringing in. But little do they know that they know the company, and they know that the way they treat people is just completely over the line.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree 100%. It seemed like the only people that get promoted in the company is, unfortunately, people that kiss up to or ass kiss. They ass kiss to their managers, or like you mentioned, like they just, one of those yes sir, yes ma'am type of people that will do anything management tells them to do, no question, even if it comes to snitching or out in somebody else that's on their team. And the way they always do this, they divide everybody first. Everybody's on the team. Everybody got to manage the team. And sometimes y'all represent this type of team where y'all have these competitions, and they put us against each other. And if we're at the bottom, we look bad. We make their manager look bad, and it makes the associates feel bad. It makes, oh damn, we got to do better. We can't have our manager looking bad. But the only one that benefits is the manager. They're fighting to get their L5. They're fighting to get their L6, which is levels. So they're fighting to get a higher salary, basically. And the workers are the one providing that opportunity for them by how good our productivity is. So if a manager, is top of the line, making numbers, it's because the workers are working harder and faster. And at the end of the quarter, when they do these quarter reviews, They look at all the managers and they say, hey, look, your numbers are too low. The manager comes back to his team, like, hey, you guys got to pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. Next thing you know, we do. He gets promoted. He gets moved to another department, another shift, another building. We get a new manager, and we gotta go through that same process all over again. And that doesn't open up any doors for us. All it does is work people till they hit that wall. Well, I like to say that it's kind of like a freshman wall. You know, when you first hire with Amazon, you go hard because you think you're gonna get promoted, and then you hit that wall. Like after 6 months, you're like, man, this is some bullshit.
You remember that? You remember that power hour shit that they got in a lot of trouble for?
Oh shit!
Right.
Yeah, remember?
Yeah, they took that away. They're like, oh, we can't do no more power hours.
Yeah, because they got in trouble because they're like, oh yeah, go crazy fast, like almost kill yourself the last hour, and you can get a gift card to fucking like just some bullshit. And I'm like, yo, why would I kill myself?
Yeah, Amazon gift card. So you're putting the money back in the company. People be like, oh, I want a $50 gift card. I'm like, yeah, to spend on Amazon. Like, so who's getting paid really?
Lol. Okay. It made me think though, just a second ago, what you were saying, which is it's so much exploitation on top of exploitation when Tristan was saying how they bring in these young kids that just came out of college. And one of the reasons why they do that, it made me think of places I've worked where they do it with interns, and they will bring in unpaid interns to just work and try to suck all the work out of them that they can for credits so that they can just like do the college credit thing. I feel like they do that with young interns because if they were to promote you guys and you have all this experience, then what they don't want is they're afraid that you might actually expect a decent wage because you have all that experience or a decent salary. And so they don't want to do that. So if they get some like 21-year-old who just graduated from college that they know isn't going to be there in a year, they know that they can like pay them shit. They can be like, because like a lot of 23-year-olds and 22-year-olds and 21-year-olds are willing to work for really low wages or really low pay because they think, oh my gosh, this is my first job. And they're really excited and they don't really know anything about like work. And so places like Amazon will pull these kids in and be like, hey, come work for nothing. And then, you know, the people will do it. And then they get rid of them because they know they're going to be gone in a year, as opposed to like people like you where they're like, no, we don't want to do that because we know that these people are working really hard and they're going to actually want a decent working wage. They're going to want a decent salary. So they continue to do that and continue to do that. And then they just try to get rid of the people and fire them, you know, bust up unions, just continue to just cycle through those people because they treat people like they're fucking widgets.
Right. It saves them money hiring and firing. Like, why pay somebody like Derek and Tristan and myself that was been there, you know, 3, 4, 5 years that's capped out, you know, making more money than the entry level worker when, you know, they can bring an entry level worker in to replace us. That's just the name of the game. Hire, fire, replace, you know. So,
you know, the irony of that is that they have no problem when it comes to workers like you guys and workers all over the country being like, you know what? These people don't matter. They're widgets. They're robots. We can get rid of them and treat them like trash and just replace them. If they start to make more money, we're just going to replace them with somebody else. But when it comes to CEOs who like now make like 325% more than the average worker that works for them, which is like, it used to be 30 times more in the 70s, and now it's like 350% more. Whenever people question, why is it that CEOs make 330 times more their average employee? People will be like, the industry acts like it's like, oh, we can't lose them. We're going to lose all their great ideas. We have to pay the CEO this ridiculous, obscene amount of money. There's no replacing him. It's like, no, you can replace them. You can find a million other people to do that job. But then they act like they're irreplaceable. But then they act like they cannot replace any type of CEO, but then they act like other people are just completely disposable. It's like, it's insane. It's upside down.
Absolutely agree. Yeah. Connor, so you was there. Let's talk about what we've been going through for the last 14 days. So you were there the day that also Derek was there as well. The day they called the police Pretty much, they called the police the day after the barbecue, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What happened there?
They put up the fence in response to our cookout, like very obviously in response to our cookout, even though they claim now it's for safety, even though they only put up the fence in the area where we were in. And they put it up right up to the edge of the sidewalk when they could have put it at the edge of the parking lot if they really didn't want people going in the parking lot. So then we responded by moving our tent, but it was the same basic premise that, you know, it was accessible. It was a good spot for a cookout, essentially. And so they called the cops, and they are just trying to play musical chairs with us and get us to move to the most inconvenient spots they can think of as a way to, you know, hurt what we're doing and try to demoralize us, but it's not really working.
Right. Agree. And the supervisor, right? Yeah. So he said, once again, just to reiterate, he said that this fence is for the construction site, for workers not to go to the construction site. Mind you, they've been doing this construction on this building for over a year. And the day after the barbecue, it's a priority to put this fake ass fence up, which, by the way, originally had a beware of dog sign. I don't know if they were talking about my little puppy Blanco. They just got some Rottweiler that we don't know about. So that was funny because when I tweeted about it, beware Blanco, right? Cat. Beware dog, right? When I tweeted about it, the next day we came in and the shit is gone. Somebody came in the middle of the night and snipped the damn sign off because they zip tied them, so they had to cut it off. And yeah, we didn't see the sign no more. Now today, not only did they build a taller fence, got the shit looking like Rikers Island, they added all the property, what's it called? Private property, no trespassing. So if it's about safety, why do you need to put a private property, no trespassing sign if it's about safety? I mean, I don't understand. All they could have said is this is a construction zone or whatever. Workers, you know how they had the construction worker signs. They didn't put one of those signs up. Instead, it's like, stay out of here, no trespassing or else. And I think the or else is having the police called, or like today, they called the fire department. So I wasn't there for the fire department. Derek, you was. Tell everybody what happened with that.
Yeah, so I was sitting at the table where we have our tent, and all I know is I turn around and I see a fire truck. So I'm thinking, okay, they probably going to Amazon. Fire truck always goes to Amazon. But then it stops, like right in front of the tent. So I'm like, okay, what is this about? So then I look, I'm like, oh shit, is the fucking generator on fire? Like, is something wrong with the generator? So I look, the generator's cool. So then the fire guy, he hops out the truck and he's on the phone. He's like, look, man, they called me, they made a complaint. They said that the generator is a safety hazard and you don't have a permit for it. And he's like, look, I don't care. Look, I'm union. You know, I know what this is really about. You know, I see the fence. I see what's going on here. So I'm going to just make sure that you're able to have this generator. So then 5 minutes later, he walks over to me. He's like, look, man, this is bullshit. This is a waste of time. You can have the generator. I'm leaving.
Word.
And that was that. And also he showed me the complaint. And, you know, I got it. I took a picture of that shit.
Yeah, I know. It's already doing numbers on Twitter. So to touch on that real quick, the complaint is anonymous. The call was anonymous.
Of course.
But we got the building number and the business number that it came from, which, ironically, is Amazon. So for them to even do this, right, wasting tax dollars, wasting the fire department's time, because let me tell you, they've been to the building how many times last week? Like twice already, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I know from working there, especially that building, how many times they get called throughout the year to that building when it's just like a false alarm or a faulty wire, or the fire alarm goes off by accident. They come to that building all the time for bullshit. This just added more to that. And that's another reason why, he's just, the fireman obviously doesn't care about what we're doing. Not only the fireman, like you mentioned, he's union. The police officers that came out, they said, we're not getting involved with this. We don't care. Just move closer to the bus stop. We're good. Yeah, Amazon just
Well, that makes me happy that was his response, the fireman's response.
right. I want Tristan to talk about the messaging, the texts and the TV real quick. What you got from being on the inside?
It's crazy. Like, it's crazy to think because, like, I left for 2 weeks. I was on a leave of absence, and I come back and I'm like, wow. Like, literally, the first 2 days I was there, I was barely in there for half the day. Like, I've only worked like the first 2 days, Thursday and Friday that I came back. I was only there in the building for a combination of 5 hours, and the amount of union busting I saw of the propaganda was just ridiculous. Like, when it went to the bathroom, when it like went to the screens, like every time I passed any kind of news thing in the building, boom, it's just right there. Like, don't give away your rights. Like, when you sign a union card, you give away your right to speak. Like, making it seem like the second you sign a union card, you're automatically going to have to pay union dues. Like, oh yeah, send me money now. Like, no, that's not how it works at all. And
send me money now.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And I'm like, what do you guys think you think all these workers here are just children? They're just gonna see this and be like, oh wow, yeah, that must be true.
Right. What about
on the bottom of it, at each one it said, if you have any questions, please follow up with your manager or HR. And I'm like, if there were two people that I was gonna ask about union in Amazon, it would not be those two people at all.
Nah.
Those would be the last two people I would talk to.
Yeah, go talk to people who's making close to six figures. If it's a manager above L5, they're making six figures. Go talk to them, sure. Tristan,
they're definitely all for unions. They're not corporate at all.
No, yeah, all the way. They're gonna give you the right answer. What was the latest text today? What was today's text?
It's funny because today's text was definitely about you, like, because it mentioned something specifically that you did. It said, just because someone handing out a union card is wearing an Amazon vest does not mean they represent Amazon, or does not mean they're even an employee of Amazon. But then I love how they watch their back in the later state, and like further down, you got to read a little bit smaller. But it says like some of these people may be current associates, but they do not represent Amazon. I'm like, wait, but didn't you just say that just because they wear a vest, they're not Amazon associates? But then you like a little bit down, they say, but they might be.
They might be.
Yeah.
Like,
we don't know, but they might be.
It's possible.
I thought that was hilarious. Like, honestly, I know it's terrible that they even did that, but it was so desperate and underhanded that I couldn't help but laugh.
No, we all are. We all laughing. And this today,
that's amazing.
No, it's amazing.
Yeah, they ain't their feelings, man.
Today was the one day I forgot to wear my fucking vest. I didn't wear it today. I wasn't even wearing it today. I forgot to wear. I usually wear it every day since I started doing it, and I forgot to fucking grab it this morning. I'm like, I don't even have a vest on today. I wasn't there for the fire shit, but I wasn't even there wearing a vest today. But I think they're so upset of what we're doing, and of course they watching on social media. They're gonna watch this.
What I really like is that they actually name dropped us. They called us what we are, Amazon Labor Union. I feel like we made it. They finally called us by our name.
Yeah.
Great publicity.
Say my name.
They said it.
And lastly, before we wrap up, let's talk about this fucking guy they got in the building, because I'm pissed about this dude. This guy that's walking around the building going to people's station. I'm gonna talk to him directly because I don't like the fact that he's singling people out, talking about, what about that guy over there unionizing? It ain't a guy. It's just not one of us. And if you're talking about me, it ain't just me. As you can see, there's workers that are organizing, and you don't know shit about us. And if you really want to have a conversation with us, we are right across the street. And I'm not going to get into all of it, but workers have told me from feedback that I'm hearing that this dude from wherever the fuck he is, Seattle, corporate, maybe a union buster already that they unhired. I think it's a guy and a girl, both white, Caucasian, probably making $1 million salary or getting paid X amount of dollars to go to everybody's station. And they're telling people, you know, what do you think about us? There's nothing to think about us. Come talk to us. You know, we tired of all these rumors flying around like, oh, you know, even today, me and Derek we was joking with one associate because she was like, oh, I don't know. We can't trust you union guys. I'm like, see, that's the issue. I'm like, no, you can trust us because we're actually not union guys. We're Amazon workers trying to unionize. There's a difference. And I'm like, you need to come talk to us so you can get the facts from the horse's head, not just hear what you hear and then go run tell that. You know, she talk about she gonna limp it out, and I'm like, nah, Amazon gonna walk you out when they fire your ass. So this is how you get protected. You know, this is how you get protected. You know, so it was fun, but these conversations are helpful, and yeah, you know, what do y'all think about this dude walking around and anybody interact with him?
I think I might have seen him today. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not sure if it was him because I remember thinking, I'm like, that guy looks like incredibly out of place, and he's just talking to like a normal associate and he had like a little book on him. He was near the ICQA desk, and I was like, he's got on a vendor's badge, but he's by himself, and he's just got a little book, and I'm like, I don't know. I've never seen a vendor that just comes in and just randomly starts talking to associates.
Right. So that's him. What about you, D?
Honestly, I don't know. Matter of fact, you know what? You know what's funny that you brought that up? Because today, me and Connor, you know, we were at the tent, and then these two kids walk up to us, and the way they walk, like, you know, when someone's talking to you, but something's just off. Like they were talking to us and it's asking us like a million questions, but then they were like, "Oh yeah, we're actually pickers," and I'm just looking at these guys like, y'all don't look tired. Y'all don't look like workers. Like y'all look like undercover workers. So, I mean, they was asking us information. We was giving it to them, but something was just off with them. And then after they left, another guy just walks up. He was just really suspicious. You know, he's just staring at the pamphlets. He's staring at the union card. And it's just like, he didn't have a notepad or anything, but he just looked really, really, really suspicious. And he had on these big ass boots. Like, I'm like, nah, this dude is not working here. Like, there's no way he's working. He had on these big, heavy boots. So I don't know. Like, I think they sent those people to our tent today.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken. Yeah,
I have no doubt they've been doing that all along too. We probably talked to a ton of snitches, or I don't even know, you know, how they get people to come get information out of us, but they pretty much want to know our strategy.
Yeah, getting our pamphlets and our union cards won't give them shit. So they can come grab a stack, come grab it. We're just gonna reprint them. That has nothing to do with our strategy. We know that. And I think I already mentioned it too. The day of the barbecue, like this guy came over, shorts, t-shirt, no badge, no vest. He didn't look like he was working. Short, little, stocky guy, but you know, and I'm like, he's too clean cut. I'm like, there's no way you was just working in there. And he didn't come he didn't grab a plate. He didn't grab a glizzy. So like, I knew something was wrong. You turned down Chris Small's glizzy. So
yo,
I'm like, yeah, my spider senses are tingling here. This guy,
so I'm off, right?
it's something off, man. He grabbed the glizzy. So I'm like, yeah, he probably was one of the spies. And we've been seeing like safety people walk out past our tent. I'm like, why the fuck is safety even over here? Even today, me and Derek saw a guy from safety. He put on his vest at the bus stop. He sat in the bus station, put on his vest. Then he walked down to the building, and like 10 minutes later, he came back. I think he came back like 10 minutes later, and just like, I don't even know what he did, get on the bus or whatever. Like, he didn't even go into work. Like, it was like, what the fuck, bro? What's that?
I don't know any safety people that take the bus because most of them make pretty decent money. I know most of them drive.
Right. So we know they definitely sending the spies by us, but it doesn't mess up anything that we're doing. So they can grab a fucking donut for all I care.
Yeah.
You know, now they see that, you know, what we're doing, passing out pamphlets and getting cards signed. I think one of them are probably trying to plot on our little box of you know, signatures. So we just got to protect that by any means.
Mhm.
Which we
Yeah,
will.
are we allowed to make copies of those? And is anybody like so we can?
Yeah, we got it covered.
All right, cool.
Yeah, Connor's on it, and we got another guy that's on it. So yeah, I mean, um, just for the audience, this is what we're trying to accomplish at JFK in Staten Island. And once again, I'm gonna throw up Amazon Labor Union. Please support the GoFundMe. We're self-funded, we're independent. This money is literally organizing these workers right now. We're paying for barbecues, we're ordering donuts and coffee every day. We're paying for gas, everything, tolls, everything that's going into the efforts is needed. And we need the community, we need the people behind us. So this episode is definitely going to be a call to action. And it's, I can't express how important this fight is, because we already seen what happened in Alabama. So you can imagine what it's going to be like once we get to that point in New York. Like, New York is the Mecca of the world. New York is, what they call the biggest city in the world. So all eyes are going to be on us in a couple of months, and are perhaps even sooner. And we're going to need all the help we can to take down Amazon, and we already know that. So stay tuned, stay with us. Anything you see online, support it, reshare, retweet, repost. If you can donate, please donate to us. Try to donate to us weekly, even if it's $5, because we're out there every single day and we need it. And
we want to hear, and we want to hear from you. If you are a worker at Amazon right now also, and you're listening to this, we would love to have you on the show and hear about your experience and what's been going on for you personally. I think that would be great. Anyone that's hearing that, or if you're a worker and you have been experiencing some of the union busting, or even if you haven't and you just want to share your experience about what it's been like working for Amazon.
Facts, big facts. All right, fellas, anything else y'all want to share with the team, with the audience?
Thank you guys so much for coming on. We really appreciate it. It was really great to hear your updates and your stories, and really, really encouraging. I'm so excited for you. I know it's such hard work. I'm so happy for you. I'm rooting for you. It was really just great and encouraging to hear everything you guys are doing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And lastly, before we close out, we need volunteers, and we're offering some pay. So if you want to get involved, volunteer, please reach out to one of us. We will definitely put you on the front line. So thank you all, and that's it. It's a wrap.